Hello, it's Polish Paul VR, welcome back to the channel. We are here today to do some PlayStation VR2 news. Today we've got 8 brand new PlayStation VR2 news stories to dive into, and there is a lot of happening. We've got fresh updates straight from the developers of Zero Caliber and V-Racer, also a new upcoming game clearly inspired by The Last of Us that's trying something very different for the survival genre, plus a few surprise new game announcements and plenty of updates across the board. So, before I start, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, do so, it does help the channel hugely and helps me stay relevant. Now, with that out of the way, let's go! We've got a fresh update from the Zero Caliber developers, and it sounds like the PlayStation VR2 version is just around the corner. It's pretty much a finishing line. According to them on the Discord, the PSVR2 build is currently being fixed, so it can enter the second round of certifications. For those of you unfamiliar, certification is basically PlayStation Quality Control Stage, a process that ensures everything runs smoothly before a game can officially launch on their PlayStation Store. Now, a note from me, if it's supposed to do so, and why we've got so many fucking shitty games out there, clearly just a shovelware. I don't know, they can get past, but good games like Zero Caliber have to keep trying and trying over again. Anger face. Now, anyway, the fact that they are already preparing for the round 2 means we are pretty much close to the release. The developers also posted update on Reddit saying we still ironing out a few bugs here and there, so we might have to reschedule our release to November. Worry not though, it's going to be worth it. Now, that little delay doesn't sound too bad at all, especially that November is pretty much just around the corner, since now it's end of October, so yes, the corner is like pretty much not even a corner, it's around corner. And at this stage, it's clearly about just polishing things up rather than, you know, them doing something, starting over or whatever. So, their communication lately has been pretty transparent, sharing sneak peeks like new weapon builds, and talking openly about the progress, which is always a good sign. It really looks like they aiming for a smooth, feature-complete launch on PlayStation VR2, rather than rushing out on making just a Quest version going to PSVR2. It's gonna be, you know, like PC experience. So, next time we hear from them, it might be just the release date, so stay tuned to the channel, and as soon as I know, I'll let you know. Now, quick update on this game. The developers behind Katana, Red Flowers, just shared a small update along with this slice of new gameplay playing for you in the background from their latest playtest. It looks like the footage was captured on Quest version, so we can probably expect this one to be one of those Questified games when it hits PSVR2, meaning the graphics might be slightly shittier than it's supposed to be on next-gen headset. But of course, performance and accessibility should be solid, but you know, still kind of, you know, last generation. That said, the gameplay actually looks really fun, fast, slashy and stylish, so I am myself low-key excited to try this one and how it feels on PlayStation VR2. It seems like a, you know, nice, smooth, flowy platformer. Anyway, now let's talk about a brand new VR adventure that has just been announced. It's called Sunstone of Time, coming to PlayStation VR2, Quest and Steam VR in spring 2026, developed by VR veterans by now, VR Kiwi and Jet Dogs. This one takes you deep into Aztec civilization, blending exploration, storytelling and puzzles in a narrative-driven experience. You play as a young researcher who wakes up in a distant era after a failed experiment, surrounded by temples, sacred artifacts and ancient wisdom. But there's more than just history at play here. A high priest pursuit of divine powers threatens the balance of the world, and it's up to you to solve those intricate mechanisms, uncover relics, and understand the culture through empathy and discovery. The developer said it's not about conquest, it's about learning from the past, which gives the game a really thoughtful edge. It's even been co-funded by European Union under the Creative Europe program. So this isn't your typical indie experiment, it's shaping up to be like a serious narrative adventures for VR fans. Soon stuff of time arrives spring 2026. So we see. All I know is once Aztec Empire got discovered by Europeans, they come there, gave everyone their fucking disease, and then all Aztecs went dead. Because, of course, that's what happened back then. The disease killed them. They was like, alright, and you know, nice and clean, Europeans come with their dirt and just kill them without even trying to. Anyway, moving on to the next story. The developers of V-Racer hoverbike have announced that they are now working on adding bHaptic support to the game on the PlayStation VR2. If you don't know what bHaptic is, it's like a vest that lets you feel what's happening in the game. So things like engine vibration, high-speed impacts, and even the rush of air as you tear through the track. It's one of those features that can be completely, that can change, you know, how you feel the game in VR. Now, since you're sitting on the motorbike, in this game, can somebody do vibrating virtual reality underpants so I can feel the bike's vibrations on me down there, down below. V-Racer has, anyway, before I go further, we hear more about it during the PSVR2 day on November 4, as they mentioned on their Discord. And the PSVR2 day happening on PSVR2 Without Parole YouTube channel, so keep an eye out on that event, because we might get fresh details and even first look of how this game looks on PlayStation VR2, so I cannot wait. V-Racer has always nailed this sense of speed, and now with bHaptics on top, it could be one of the most physically immersive racing experiences on PSVR2, because as I mentioned before, they got this cool leaning system and they've got it proper nailed. That really makes you feel like you're on the bike. Anyway, moving on to the story number 5. Sweet Surrender officially released tomorrow on PSVR2, and I've been playing it for a while, working on my review, so it will go live on tomorrow's video. But the developers have confirmed that the game has officially gone gold, meaning the final PSVR2 build is locked in and ready for launch. But they're not stopping there, they've also shared what's coming next for the game. The next content update will focus on expanding the chip system, adding new upgrade abilities to make runs feel even more dynamic. After that, they'll be improving the melee combat, bringing it up to the same level as the gunplay. On the PSVR2 side, the developers have already received positive feedback on how they used adaptive triggers and haptics, and they are exploring ways to make those features feel even more immersive in the future. They also mentioned bHaptic support. It is something they love to bring to PSVR2, and they already have an integration in place, but this integration is based on the older software development kit, so it's gonna take some time to update and test properly. The team says they'll be listening closely to players' feedback after the launch to shape the game's direction, and it's worth noting that it's their first game released on PlayStation VR2. So you can tell that they're really excited and they're really pouring their hearts out onto this release. So Sweet Surrender will release tomorrow, and I have my full thoughts and review ready in the next video once I've played a bit more tonight. But also I cannot share anything yet because I'm under the embargo. Now let's speak about studio behind Cold VR. So basically the Argentine studio Allware, that's the team behind the Cold VR, which has been officially announced but not yet released. They shared that they've been accepted as PlayStation partner. This means they now have direct access to PlayStation technical support, tools and promotional assistance, which usually translates to smoother performance and better visibility for the releases. Their first title to arrive on PlayStation VR2 will be Cold VR, which, if you remember, is already announced but not released yet, and it is now confirmed to include platform-specific improvements and plenty of improvements for PlayStation 5 Pro. They also bring in another project to PlayStation called What Comes After, an emotional adventure game clearly inspired by The Last of Us. This partnership is a big step forward for them, and it is a good sign for anyone hoping to see more international indie teams bringing their experiences to PSVR2. So, after releasing earlier this year on PC VR and MetaQuest and later launching as Cold VR Sub-Zero edition, over the summer the game's PlayStation VR2 version went completely quiet for a while. Nobody really knew if it was even still happening. But thanks to the studio's recent entry to the PlayStation Partner Program, it looks like the project has now been revived. That means Cold VR is officially back on track for PSVR2, but we still don't know if it's alive later this year or at some time in 2026. The original release got mixed reviews, mainly due to performance issues and a few rough edges, but the Sub-Zero edition update turned things out in a big way. It added content, major technical fixes, and a noticeable jump in visual quality, and basically it was a huge update that transformed the game. So if that improved version is the one making its way on PlayStation VR2, and with Sony's technical support now behind it, we could probably expect the best version of this game yet. This could be one of those sleeper hits that really benefits from polished second chance on PSVR2. And next story, the same studio behind Cold VR is also working on a completely different project called What Comes After, a survival adventure set in post-apocalyptic world. But this one isn't just another story about fighting to stay alive, it's taking the genre in a very different direction. Instead of focusing on your own survival, the core gameplay centers around helping others survive. You'll be exploring ruined cities and harsh environments, not just scavenging for yourself, but searching for ways to aid the people you meet. Whether this is finding supplies, offering shelter, or simply just giving them a bit of hope. It's clearly clever twist that really stands out, and you can just see from this trailer I'm playing in the background, it's got a big influence from the likes of The Last of Us. Not in maybe gameplay mechanics, but in tone and atmosphere and emotional storytelling. This game will be released episodically for PSVR2, PC VR and MetaQuest, so it sounds like the story will unfold over time, giving players a chance to grow with their world and the characters they help in. And that's it for today. If you want to stay up to date with everything PlayStation VR2, there's a lot happening, you just need to look into the right places. Then stay tuned to the channel, and as soon as I got anything for you, be it indie games or bigger games like Flight Simulator and anything else in between, then I will let you know. So make sure you press like and subscribe, and for now, that's it. Bye 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 bye.